Remember the late 90s? You know, the era that gave us some of the best platformers of all time? Well, in 1998, the people behind Earthworm Jim decided to swing for the fences with Wild 9, a platformer where you grab enemies with an electric tether and slam them in the meat grinders. On paper, slam dunk, and for a couple levels, it absolutely is. But somewhere in the poison swamp, or maybe when I was getting stuffed into a tuna can, I realized that Wild 9 fumbles what could have been a legendary cult classic. This is the story of one phenomenal idea in a very imperfect package. This is Wild 9. The story behind Wild 9 starts with the success of another game, Earthworm Jim. While always on the fringes, Earthworm Jim was a healthy success that launched shiny entertainment into minor prominence. After Earthworm Jim 2, the devs began theory crafting a new platformer. They initially had some wild ideas. They liked one of a female protagonist wielding a glove that could vaporize enemies. This glove would also be able to, and I quote, deliver the same kind of actions you could perform with your own hands, only with 1,000 times more strength. So anything your hand can do right now, the glove could do 1,000 times better. Just imagine all the things you could. Oh my god. It won't let go! After a few tweaks, they landed on what would become Wild 9, so let's see how it turned out. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. From the title screen, we hit start and drop into the first level with no story. Haven't had one of these in a while, as this is a manual game. You don't need it for codes or copy protection, but if you want to know what's going on, you should read the 4.5 pages of story in the manual. To summarize, we play Wex Major, a boy in space who leads a colorful group called the Wild 9. The gang was ambushed by Karn, Emperor of Space, who kidnapped 6 of our friends. So, we go on a warpath to rescue the team and defeat Karn. Now, why isn't this presented in a cutscene? You know? This could have been an email, okay? Wild 9 is a 2.5D platformer. Right and left are for movement, while up and down are for crouching, aiming, and we have a single jump. If you know platformers, you know they gotta have a gimmick, and this game has a really strong one. Wex is in possession... Okay, can I just call him Rex? This is an American game. This is not a translation issue. His name is Wex, but I feel so stupid saying that, like, who am I? Hey, Koopa. I may have accidentally released the Tyrannosaurus Rex from captivity. So forgive me, I'm saying Rex is in possession of something called the Rig. This is a machine that Rex uses to produce electrical limbs which grab enemies, boxes, or grapple points. The unique mechanic is that you fight enemies by straight up grabbing them and smashing them against the floor, the walls, into meat grinders, into gunfire, into normal fire. The game calls this torturing the enemies, so it's definitely an attempt at some dark humor, which I'd call a success. The mechanic gives a perfect amount of feedback to make each slam feel personal. The rig is difficult to control, as we'll see, but the concept? Top tier. This first level is very fun once you start experimenting with how best to torture the enemies. I like leaving enemies in purgatory to think about what they've done. At the end of the stage, we rescue the first of our friends, Volstagg, the Muscle, and peace out to the next level. The Gulag has a cool factory aesthetic. New mechanic here is dropping enemies onto spikes to create safe platforms. This allows us to rescue Nitro, who acts as a reusable bomb. I will say the sections where you need to carry something over platforming obstacles are insanely awkward. There isn't a clear enough difference between turning with versus slamming an enemy, so they can easily die along the way. The next level is completely different. We need to pilot our jet bike to chase down and destroy this snitch before he tells the teacher we were saying swears. Stupid fuck. Good variety stage though. Fourth level is like a destroyed downtown area. The entire level sways constantly. I don't like this, but I don't think it actively caused an issue. The first boss does enough of that. This solid use of our abilities, we need to crouch under its attacks, avoid its bombs, and pick up the duds so we can swing them into the boss when it attacks again. This fight reminded me of Mischief Makers, which also involves grabbing and shaking objects as its core mechanic. I got freaked out at the end of the stage as this little gremlin lunges at us, but that's our friend, Pocket, who gives us an infinite machine gun while on our back. Well, as the leader of the Wild Nine, I shouldn't play favorites, but I will. Next is another variety stage. Bit wonky, you are falling down a vent and have to match your height to enemies so you can grab them and throw them in the walls. A nice touch is that you can land on the enemy's back and guide them into obstacles. Then another jet bike level, Quagmire Run! Like I said, another jet bike level, this time in a bayou. One thing I don't get with these levels is the missiles are tied to your movement after shooting. If you fire and move to the left, the missile will move to the left too. It's supposed to help you guide the missile, but it just makes it way harder to hit this rejected Ninja Turtles villain. Next stage is a serious pain. This swamp level is filled with instant death water and instant death traps. Wild 9 has a reputation for being unforgiving and difficult, not in a way, more of a way. Even with the multiple one-ups throughout the level, it just isn't fun to fight against instant death with these cartoony controls. Later, we find Henry, our big aquatic friend, who helps us walk through the swamp to reach a boss fight. This one drops dynamite, which you throw back at him as he dives in and out of the water. At this point, I'm pretty sure I dislike the rig mechanic as it currently is. This game was designed for the original PS1 controller, so you move, crouch, look up, and thus manipulate held objects, all with the D-pad. The physics of held objects are wonkier than chocolate, and the game only uses 3 buttons, so I feel like there must be a better way. How about you hold square to grab like normal, then holding right trigger locks the enemy to the right, regardless of your movement. Left trigger for the left side, and both for over your head. It's not like the buttons are doing anything better. And as bad as this level was, the next level's worse! We find a rideable monster, which sucks. So I leave it behind and carry on, wondering why the monster exists. You can't pick up items while riding it, and the level doesn't require it at all. And what is up with the camera? I can't see shit. What? I didn't even fuck around! I'm not entirely sure I found out. The camera didn't show what happened so well. I get back there and try and see what happens. Son of a bitch! These are enemy spawners, which apparently can you if you stand underneath them, which is death. This level is so weird. Look at this. It's like a little man. I want to be done. I know what I did to deserve this. The question is, how does the game know I did those things? The monster was required, so I have to run back the entire— No! God, why is this the most dangerous thing in the game? I run back, grab the filthy Xeno, and turns out that little man is my friend, Mac Sheen, who's mostly mechanical, so we have the monster eat his parts and spit him out at the end. Mac turns into a lever to open the exit. I always knew you were a tool, Mac Sheen. I just didn't know you were useful. The next variety level is a variety version of the jet bike levels, where we instead ride the monster we found and chase down someone. The next proper level is honestly the best in the game. Really like this one. In these crystal mines, we find our friend, Crystal. She may walk like a slutty bride of Frankenstein, but she's one of only 2 girls on the team, so we gotta take good care of her or HR is gonna be up our ass. Crystal can't move unless light is shining on her, so she's like a solar-powered blow-up doll. That's an awful idea. Why would you ever want to use that in the sun? The level is basically an escort mission. We have to clear and light a path to get Crystal to the exit, even featuring some timed segments. Somehow the level plays out incredibly well. There isn't a bunch of BS. It's straightforward and smooth. I beat it first try and had a blast. Finally, we have another falling level, one last jet bike level, and the final stage, Emperor Karn's Palace. I hate this level. I do. There are some new mechanics that don't get explained to the player, which I like. I enjoyed figuring out what these gears are for on my own. The problem is, again, the rig. Carrying enemies across a room to do a platforming puzzle doesn't work when the enemy dies on the way over. You know, if you jump while holding an enemy, they take damage when you land? And when I finally do it, oh, don't do me like that! The block I needed was waving all around as I walked off the ledge, so it got stuck and broke my grab. But the greatest sin of this level... Oh, I'm getting sick just thinking about it. This level has RNG. These tiny green things have appeared throughout the game, and here they can sometimes spawn at random from the green goo below. This killed me once. There are also spawners for the little peas, which are nearly guaranteed to damage you a couple times. Plus, the level ends in a boss, who is also a pea pod. But, here we are. Final boss. Let's get this over with. Oh, holy shit! Oh, this boss is awesome! Oh, look at this! Bam, bam, bam! Oh, forget all my previous complaints, no matter how correct they were. The final boss is Emperor Karn himself, who we haven't even seen up to this point, and he just starts chasing us down with laser eyes and mortar firing those green babies, all while holding our last friend King Kong style. I will say the fight maybe goes on too long, but it's so fun. I like the touch that Rex has lines of dialogue to warn you that certain moves are coming. I died once, but no hard feelings, Emperor Karn, sir. With Karn defeated, we make a quick exit, and that's the end. For all its faults, Wild 9 ended really strong. How dare you tell me to get fresh air after this game? I beat the game in under 4 hours, but no, yeah, I really need to see the sun after this epic adventure with no story. There's only 14 levels, and half of those are mini-games plus the final boss. God, penetration! Nothing exhausts my goodwill like a game dev going, oh wow, thanks for playing and, supporting my career. You should go do something else, you worthless shit. Let's be real, this version of the game should never have been more than a tech demo. The concept of the rig is amazing. Wild 9 would sound awesome if I described it to a friend. Oh yeah, it's like Mischief Makers meets Mad World. Plus, it's wrapped in that edgy 90s cartoon style and a killer soundtrack. The talent behind this game was incredible. But it's not even rushed, it's barely done. For how cool it is, there aren't a lot of things the rig can actually do. It could have easily been improved. Also would have liked more levels where we get to play with our friends, maybe mixing and matching them for puzzles. Oh, and a story with cutscenes, characters interacting through dialogue. This isn't to say the game is terrible, because it's not. It's a good game that leaves way too much to be desired. Though, even in this state, the game was received well, and the devs seemed very proud considering its rocky development. Maybe what this game truly needed was a sequel, so all my complaints would turn into, yeah, but the sequel fixes that. Shiny Entertainment was doing a lot of weird stuff around this time, but not coming back to this idea, just criminal. I believe this is gold left on the table just because it wasn't polished enough to be recognized. Somehow my thoughts on the game perfectly matched what GameSpot had to say at the time. Wild 9 is one of those games that purports to have a unique concept behind it, yet falls flat in its implementation. Never thought I'd die fighting side by side with a game journalist. What about side by side with a friend? No. Fuck you. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, a like and subscription means a lot, and if you didn't like it, well, why the hell not? You better comment and tell me. Anyways, take care.